who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Are growing out, and the only way the roots grow out every single day and they grow stronger and they grow better is if that we all water.
What? I'm out, man.
Breaking news: Tom Brady may or may not be retiring. You heard it and maybe did not hear it here first.
That's not breaking news.
That's broken news.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's every year for the last 10 years.
But no, Adam Schefter reported it, man. Adam Schefter reported that Tom Brady's retiring. So it must be official.
Oh.
Unless we hear him say it, it's not real. Like
what's going on, everybody? This is an all-new edition of Chip and Drip here on the AAT Sports Network on AAT Birds. I am Chip. That's JD, a.k.a. Drip. And we are joined tonight by the first original guest of Chips and Dish. Now it's Chip and Drip. He's the first guest of this show. Mr. Seaway right. Science, Mr. Conaway, Don Conaway himself from Drunk on Broad. What is happening? And Drunk on Ice.
Here we
which just sounds like fun.
Okay, so just the kind of intro. The funniest part about the Drunk on Ice stuff is the YouTube live chat, because we've had a couple of times where we've had some people in some other languages join in the chat and just start rambling shit off about being drunk on ice and like doing all sorts of crazy shit. So that's been by far the funnest part. Is not talking. I mean, I love talking hockey, but the funniest part is seeing all the crazy, stupid shit on the YouTube live chat. So really glad to be back. Really good. Things have started to evolve for us for the Drunk on Broad crew. We're starting to kind of branch out. We've joined the Belly Up Network. So we're getting our stuff out there to a different, broader audience. But glad to be back where it started.
Yes, sir. For those of you that don't know, Don and I teach in the same building, so we see each other on the daily. He's my work bestie.
We're footsteps away.
We are, and
nice.
what you guys missed in the green room, for those of you that were not watching us about 10 minutes ago, is a very in-depth and specific conversation about the process of a vasectomy and how this is no longer Chip and Drip. This is we all been snipped.
It's a common.
Speaking of which, let's pay the bills real quick, and then we'll get back to everything in a snip snap. All right, so real quick, lots of great sponsors here.
I can't.
We tell you about this every week. You're going to get us canceled.
I know. I listen in the show description. It does say shenanigans. I have to be honest. It does say shenanigans. It leaves it. Whoever says shenanigans next time is going to get pistol whipped. Hey, Farvo, what's that place you like with all the goofy shit on the walls? Oh, you mean shenanigans? Oh. All right. Statement Games, a fun free twist on fantasy sports. Make sure you're checking that out. The AATSportsNetwork.com/shop. Make sure you're checking that out. Symbol, the stock market for sports. Use the code AATSports when you sign up. La Terrain Luxury Watches. Use the code AATBirds at checkout for 10% off. Triple Threat Bets, which is triplethreatwagers.com. Funkbrewing.com. And I feel like I'm missing. Your balls will thank you. At manscaped.com is partnered with AAT Birds. Use the code AAT Birds for 20% off and free shipping at checkout. And I have to give a special non-official sponsor because I'm rocking some merch right now. I got to give a special shout out to the Bills Mafia, right? Like the Bills Mafia. And this is Kate. Kate does sweatshirts that talk about how fullbacks matter. And you're damn right, I got one in Eagles green. So bring back the fullback. Fullbacks matter. Shout out to Kate at 716 Transplant on the Twitter. So I appreciate you.
That was right up your alley. I mean, you've been riding that train since the John Ritchie days.
Yeah. Because
You're a Mike Allstott fan.
You know what? I am. And here's the thing. If the Eagles are going to continue to have a running game, it only makes sense to include a fullback.
All right, Rick.
Stop it.
Chip, top 5 fullbacks.
Kevin Turner, John Ritchie. I'm just talking about ones that I loved. Okay. Mike Allstott, Cecil Martin.
Ooh.
And when they eventually realized it, Jordan Mailata.
He should be playing. He should be playing.
Oh my God!
Have you seen that dude run a rugby ball? Have you seen him run a rugby ball? That dude's amazing.
Dude, I just Crazy. For funsies, I changed his position on Madden one year.
Stop
and
it.
He went from a 68 overall to an 84, and then immediately left the team.
Oh my God! I mean, Chip, you might have left out one of the greatest of all time.
Say
Tom Rathman.
It's a solid one.
Are we not gonna? You don't want me to just grab the low hanging fruit? Like y'all don't want me to
Go ahead. Do it.
We all
Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis.
Jerome Bettis is a fullback. He was a really
he was classified. No, bro, he was a fullback. If you look at all the great fullbacks throughout the years, that is Jerome Bettis. Like that is him.
And Cordell Stewart was classified as a punter. I don't want to hear it. The Steelers just don't understand how to read a depth chart.
In terms of fullback, he was full of the uniform, but. I mean,
what's the difference between him and Mike Allstott? What's the difference?
Mike Allstott was never a feature back in the Super Bowl winning offense.
Yeah. They gave him the ball. They gave Bettis the ball 20 plus times a game.
Mike Allstott was a beast, yo. I saw him run over at least 35
absolutely.
He was. And Peyton Hillis, who was a feature running back for the Cleveland Browns, so much that he got the Madden cover, and then they were like, all right, so you're done in the NFL now. Like, you're good. Cool, bye.
Yeah, you're dead to us now.
So listen, again, bring back the fullback, but we got a lot to talk about tonight. So we had conference championship weekend, 2 really good games yet again, and continuing in their ever-loving shenanigans, we are going to discuss a little bit of the WIP morning show. And at this point, I'm calling them out by name because it is just an abomination and an embarrassment of what they are doing. And it kind of ties into a little bit of our first topic. So let's recap. We know conference championship weekend. JD, you watched a different team from your division head to the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts on the Bengals? Great. What are your thoughts on the Bengals and moving forward, how the Steelers can eventually overcome them?
I don't know how many people here are of the Catholic faith, so I'm going to say this like a man of faith. Uh-huh. You just pray. You go tell your local priest what you've done, that you've sinned, and he will tell you to do 5 Hail Marys, put $20 in an offering plate. Like, I'm not really sure what we do at this point, guys. Like, I'm at a point now where I'm tired of talking about my guys. Like, we need a quarterback. We'll see what happens with that. Joe Burrow looks like an unsurmountable beast. He just looked like I've had to deal with him since college. He punished my Clemson Tigers. You see my championship behind me. Like, you know how I felt. I don't like Joe Burrow. I mean, I like him as a player, but I didn't like him as a person. He just continues to beat us. And and 3 Our Fathers. I'm gonna need 6 of those.
Thank you, Maddie. And 3 Our Fathers.
Yeah.
Probably need 3 of those because at the end of the day, we're in quarterback purgatory, like most teams. You know what I'm saying? We're in quarterback purgatory. We're gonna need a lot of help. We're not the worst team in our division. You know, we're probably like middle of the pack. You know, to be honest with you. We're probably in that division. I mean, the Bengals are probably number 1. I think a close number 2 could possibly be maybe us, maybe depending on if we go to quarterback or not. The Browns stink. The Ravens, I don't know what they're doing if they can get any of their players back off injury semi close to what they were.
Right.
But I mean, remember, you just named the other teams in the division. The Steelers, as of right now, from my perspective, are the worst team in the division.
Yeah, but we didn't finish worst in the division.
Correct. But looking forward to next season, quarterback play, you're the only team without an answer at that position.
We haven't had one for 3 years.
Well, correct, but you had a name at least. You had a guy that would at least bring people closer.
And I'm with that. But the one year you got to remember, we watched our quarterback get hit with a fucking helmet. Like, it's not like we're like batting 1,000. Like, dude, we've been playing with
Myles Garrett batted 1,000 on that play.
Yeah, we're not playing with. I mean, Baker Mayfield is probably the worst quarterback in our division. To be honest with you, He's unproven. You don't know what guy you're getting. They just want the guy that they said was trash is now in the Super Bowl. So OBJ looks like a completely different dude now. Like he doesn't he did in Cleveland.
I never thought that Joe Burrow was going to be trash, right? You looked at his body of work, and yes, okay, so I understand that he transferred out of Ohio State, and maybe that was the last time that he was questionably a trash quarterback. But his years at LSU were top-notch. He was an actual legitimate professional quarterback in an LSU offense. Got drafted number 1 overall after no contesting the Heisman. No contesting it. Okay. Had a great first couple of games his rookie season. His offensive line was his downfall. And by the way, was almost his downfall again. You cannot deny, and Don, you can chime in on this.
Yeah.
You cannot deny that he threw that team to victory on his damn back.
Oh, I mean, listen, when they drafted Chase, I was the first person to say, like,
mistake.
Like, to say, like, yo, you needed to shore up offensive line. If Joe Burrow is not upright, then this team is trash, regardless of who you put around him. But that Chase pick is a game changer now, because now you can go out and now you can put free agent. You can fill in the offensive line with free agents. You can cherry pick guys that you can keep. This team is
you're a Super Bowl caliber team.
They are only getting better. And I'll tell you what, the thing that I learned in the last 2 weeks of watching that football, man, I learned that, like, where Jalen Hurts is and where those quarterbacks are, like, light years away, man.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
So for me, and he's right. Like Jalen Hurts is light years behind that. Like, and I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to work his ass off.
So do I. Absolutely.
But if you look at him compared to Joe Burrow, they're in the same exact spot. Like, as far as the time that they played last year and where they are this year, the only problem with the Joe Burrow thing is Joe Burrow's got to go through now, because he's in the AFC. He's got to go through Patrick Mahomes. He's got to go through Josh Allen. On the NFC side, where are the young quarterbacks? Where's the young talent? Those dudes are all old now.
There isn't. And that was one thing that I was going to bring up, is that the fact of there is such a the AFC is set for the next decade or so, barring any free agencies and contracts and things like that. But they're set for the next decade or so with having the better quarterbacks. They've got Herbert, they've got Burrow, they've got Mahomes, they've got, I mean, hell, you can even say Lamar Jackson. He's not a great quarterback, but he is constantly leading the team. I mean, Baker Mayfield is not great. He is consistently letting his team down. Yeah, I'll give you that. But I mean, just those guys alone. Oh God, he's not great yet. He did a lot better than people thought he was going to. But just those guys alone, there is nobody in the NFC on the up, right? You're assuming that Aaron Rodgers may or may not play another year. You're assuming maybe Tom Brady plays another year. You're assuming Russell Wilson gets back to form, but there's nobody coming up in the NFC that is going to contend with those guys, which means the next, I would say, I mean, I haven't made an official set pick yet, but the next 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 Super Bowls are all going to the AFC.
Well, but here's the thing, though, is that when you talk about what they do at quarterback moving forward, is what you just said evidence enough for the Eagles to say, fuck it, like, go out and get Russell Wilson, because who else are you contending with? Like, do you make that move to say, like, if there's ever a move to make it now? Because who else are you scared of at that position in the NFC, right? You're talking about Aaron
Stafford.
Rodgers.
I mean, so
Stafford. There are a couple of guys, right? But I mean,
here's
Stafford
what I
looks susceptible, right?
Right,
Like,
and that's kind of my point. Like, you looked at coming out of the NFC, right? The AFC games were quarterback duels, right? Mahomes had to beat Allen. Burrows beat up on Mahomes. Like, it was quarterback battles. You saw in the NFC what elite quarterback play can do. Like, Stafford, again, same thing. He found his guys, but you're talking about a team with OBJ. You're talking about a team with Cooper Kupp, with Van Jefferson, with Robert Woods on the sideline.
Yeah.
Right? That team still is Robert Woods. We're totally forget about that guy. But I know they've got cap, but they've got cap hell. They put all their chips in. They pushed in. They're going for it this year. They knew they were a quarterback away. I feel the same way that the Titans are a quarterback away from being a contender. Tannehill cannot get the job done. So then you drop down to the Philadelphia sports team and you go, is Jalen Hurts the guy? Well, based on what we've seen, no. He can lead you to win some games, but moving forward, he's not the guy. As a quarterback,
he's serviceable, right? He's a guy who is going to he's going to keep you in relative.
He's not elite.
Contention.
He's not elite. And look, I'm not saying give up on the guy.
No, but Chip, if you would have put him on the other sideline opposing any of those guys, even last weekend, right, against Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is a great comp because that's a peer, right? That's a guy he played against in college. It's a guy he's playing in the same time frame as a professional. Like, I don't see him doing anything relevant that is going to make the Eagles competitive in a game against any of those guys.
He's not going to throw you to win.
I understand it. And we're not saying that he's not going to or he is going to. My thing with Jalen Hurts is that the only person you can go out here and get that will probably come to Philly is named Deshaun Watson. And his potential possibility to never play again is very high as well. So
absolutely,
it's risk versus reward. Like, you kind of gotta love the one you got, kind of like love the one you love, and you don't give up the one you like for the one you love. You know what I'm saying, or vice versa. And then be honest,
like Maddie was just saying, but Maddie, and that's part of the thing, and that's what I was going to get to. Like Maddie's saying, we're still a work in progress, but please remember, this Eagles team is not a quarterback away.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense to bring in a guy like a Deshaun Watson or an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson or a whoever you possibly want to associate with this team. It doesn't make sense to do that. It just doesn't at this current juncture. So you let him have the other year. You let him have the chance to develop. You let him see if he can do what he's got to do to get a little bit better. But everything that he's shown is not enough yet.
I was going to say, well, like, if your goals and aspirations are to win a Super Bowl, and you say, can I see this guy in 2, 3, 5 years win a Super Bowl? If the answer is not yes, then your eyes are already on the next guy, right? And if that guy is Kenny Pickett, if that guy is Malik Willis, if that guy is Deshaun Watson or Russell, whoever it is, right? Like, if you know in your heart of hearts that, like, this guy has a ceiling and his ceiling is keeping you competitive, that ain't good enough.
And again, you can go back and you can look at he didn't really beat anybody. And yes, you're right. But it was a first-year coach. It was rookies all around. It was a beat up off. Like, this team wasn't ready to compete. So the fact that he got to where he did is very nice. But is it enough to bank a franchise on? And I don't think it is.
Very nice isn't winning a Super Bowl, though.
Let me ask you guys a question, and I think this is I think I know the answer to this, but for a majority of Eagles fans that are in our fan base between through, let's say, 25 and 45, they've only seen one championship. Mm-hmm. They've only seen one championship in their lifetime. So I understand the feeling of like having the taste of blood, finally getting your first taste of blood and wanting it. But are fans just a little bit delusional thinking that they're going to get back so quick after they leverage their future on a guy who's no longer here and he's their number one? He's the highest paid player and he's not even here. He's not even in the uniform anymore.
I think you got to look at it with the understanding of, we won a Super Bowl, and that's where you have to divide the fan base, right? So you have to divide the fan base of, there's half of us, and I fall into this category, who go, you know what? We got really lucky. We got really lucky to win that Super Bowl. We called lightning in a bottle. We made the right moves. Nick Foles, cool. He did the job. But Nick Foles is not someone you build a franchise around. And then there's the other half who go, yeah, we should have been in the Super Bowl again. We should have been in the Super Bowl again. No, we shouldn't have. We weren't ever a complete team.
I mean, not for nothing, but like that game that they played against the Saints, they were within that one Alshon Jeffrey drop. Right? Like they were within that one play of going back to the NFC Championship game a second time. I don't know. I think where people glom on to the idea that like we were so close and then it like fell off the fucking table. And then like Wentz sucks, he's out. Like it literally just imploded all on itself right away. And I think where a lot and this, right, wrong, or indifferent, but like I think where a lot of the Hurts love falls is that people were so butthurt by Wentz that like they glommed on to Hurts and they're willing to overlook flaws that he has because he's not Wentz.
But remember, the quarterback position in the NFL is a very unique spot where you can be incredible and single-handedly carry your team. Look at Joe Burrow. Yes, he's got the weapons. Absolutely. But he has put that team on his back. He turned a team around who was also 4-11 a couple years ago and led them to a Super Bowl. Compared to a team like a Jalen Hurts, who is just happy being one of the many. Well, as a quarterback in the NFL, you've got to be superior in most cases. Yes, we know there's the Joe Flacco who's won one and the Brad Johnsons and the Hasselbecks. We know all those guys exist too. But you need eliteness to be Super Bowl winners.
Those guys also had like elite defenses.
Yeah, elite defenses.
So, I mean, okay. So you're saying something very smart. You're saying I literally, in my hearts of hearts, me being, writing for the Eagles, I have a special place in my heart for them. As much as I love to talk shit about them, I have a special place and I don't want them to suck. So with that being said, I saw them all offseason and I thought to myself, as my honest heart of hearts, I thought they could win 9 to 11 games. And people thought I was crazy. They were like, oh, there's no way. Well, they did it. And everybody, you're looking at this season and people are acting like you guys show like no character, no moxie, no nothing. And it was the exact opposite. I watched the team jail. They didn't have all the weapons. They didn't have the best situation. And they made lemonade out of lemons. So I don't know why there's such a downward tone to this all season. Like it's like doom and gloom. It's like you just walked into your wife cheating on you and now you got to find a new wife or something. Like that's how every conversation with like Eagles fans is right now. And I'm like, dude, like
because we lost a playoff game. We lost a playoff game in a game where
matter?
I hear you.
JD, listen, at the very minimum, like what I think people are, again, right, the willingness to not look at this team honestly and look through it through the green. It's the green goggle syndrome.
Through their 2001 Empire goggles, right?
Correct.
The Andy Reid Empire.
Right. And
well, Andy Reid isn't doing so hot either, by the way.
He lost the conference championship to a cat again. My man cannot beat cats.
Holy fuck. Listen, here's the craziest thing, right? And this is like completely off topic, but like does Andy Reid go down as a coach of the Chiefs? Right? Is he more remembered for his time with the Chiefs than he is with the Eagles? Like does the time with the Eagles kind of is it like the I
mean, I think that we would have to take a step out of Philadelphia to make that decision. But he won Super Bowls there. He won Super Bowl again, but you're doing it through somebody who went up against him a lot as a Steeler.
Not really. I mean,
what do you got?
Around. So my thing with Andy Reid is I think of him as an Eagle, and I've known him to choke more than he's succeeded. That's what I noticed him do. I mean, we talk about Atlanta a lot. We always say Atlanta chokes in the big game. Well, what other than Kansas City winning a championship, they've had all this big hype around them wrapped around. They've only completed it one time.
Right. And like Matt just said, never bet on Andy in a conference championship game. Love him, but just don't.
And he got Donovan McNabb, arguably the best quarterback in Eagles history. If you want to,
It's not arguably. He is the best quarterback in the Eagles system.
Absolutely.
So, you got that to kind of take in consideration. Like, Patrick Mahomes completed the mission for Andy, but for Andy to be to the championship as many times and have been in the fight as many times and not have anything to really show for it, it's the LeBron syndrome. It's like, oh, can I get there? Can I get there? Can I get there? But then you got the Jordan syndrome where it's like, okay, I get there and win it. What is it? What it means more to you, winning it or getting there? Because getting there is fine, but I want to win the shit.
Well, it's the Marv Levy effect for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Right. How many Super Bowls did that man lose?
God,
he's a great Hall of Fame head coach, but my man could not win the game. We got some great comments rolling. I don't want to forget about the comments because obviously they figured out certain things that Twitter doesn't work, but Facebook and YouTube do. So, Ted wants to know: are the Eagles going to waste their 3 first-round picks this year to help strengthen the team? Waste meaning draft a quarterback. They're going to go out and draft a quarterback. They're going to do some kind of dumb trade.
There's nothing out there.
Like there's
no quarterback out there to draft that would replace Jalen Hurts this season.
No, but like if you have to say, does this guy make an impact on the team next year? Right, because those first round picks
have to. They got to be starting by the 4th or 5th week of their rookie season. Now,
like I'm all for. Like, if you want to take one of those picks and push it to next year, I'm okay with that, right? Like, if you want to take a guy at 15 and a guy at 16 and take 19 and you trade it to somebody and move back to 22, but you pick up another, like, I'm okay with that as long as the guys that you're bringing in are able to impact. I think, anywhere on the defense, right? Like anywhere at any level of the defense, whether it's on the line, linebacker, corner, safety.
No, you got to go out and get a linebacker. One of these first-round picks has got to be for a linebacker or a hybrid linebacker player. Like, there's got to be something there.
I don't have to be the one to tell you that the last time the Eagles drafted a linebacker in round 1, you and I weren't even alive.
Exactly.
So, that should tell you for everybody that's putting out the mock drafts that says, Nakobe Dean or and JD, remind me of the guy from Utah. Like anybody who's putting out those mock drafts that says like, that's you and I looking at this saying they need a fucking linebacker.
Matt saying just good picks to build a team, a whole team, not one player.
And listen, for me, draft anybody that played in that national championship game. Right, anybody who's on the defense for Alabama,
Williams, I love that kid.
Like any of those guys would come in and be day one impact players for you. Draft those guys. Like don't overthink it. Don't be stupid. Right, like pull guys that are
the best player available because you have holes everywhere.
Chip, we talked about this weeks ago, and I said. I think what Howie feels like he's going to find a diamond in the rough. This isn't the time to find the diamond in the rough. Like, this isn't the time for that. This is the time to go with the guys that come from a Clemson, an Alabama, a Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan. This is the time to go get those guys. It's not the time to play pity pat and think you're getting a steal in the draft. This isn't the time for that. People
go
ahead.
No, I hear what you're saying. Like, I'm looking at Palatero's comment here, right? First with Jonathan Gannon going. We'll talk about that in a second. The Georgia linebacker or a Utah linebacker. I'm taking the Georgia linebacker. He is a national champion. He plays in the SEC. He has played big boy ball, like you're saying, JD.
Why are you guys missing Williams? Williams is a stud, dude. Williams is a straight stud. Like, if you play for a team that's in the Southeast Conference or the bottom part of the Southern place, you need to go for them. We have watched them. There's so many of them in the championship going forward. Yeah. Jamar Chase is from Louisiana. You got OBJ is from Louisiana. Like, let's look around. These dudes are all from the South. T. Higgins from Tennessee. Like, these guys are from the South.
If they play in a school near the equator, like.
The lower the better. I'll take the kicker from the Ugandan national team at this point. Like, come on.
If you want to take a kicker from who's the kicker from was it San Diego State, the dude that kicks it like 78 yards.
Oh yeah. Listen,
even McPherson and his Gatorade bottle, man, that kid is crazy. He is never. First off, he's 6 years old, but he gonna never have to buy a beer once he's allowed to start drinking ever.
It's over with, dude. You can cancel Christmas, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Real boy.
Stop trying. I just that's the only thing I ask for the Eagles. Like, if I'm going to continue to write for you guys, someone please contact Howard Roseman. If you don't draft a guy with Bama, Georgia, Clemson, Oklahoma, any of the SEC schools, including, because I consider Ohio State a SEC school, even though they're up north. Okay. Please go get one of these guys. Olave will be great. I know everybody doesn't want another. Olave would fit in perfectly with Devontae Smith. When I tell you it'd be like thunder and lightning.
Right.
People don't want to talk about it, right? But like, I mean, listen, they didn't go wrong drafting Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson. That Dickerson pick, a lot of people questioned.
I did
picked it because and
he was my rookie of the year. Dickerson was my rookie of the year.
And like, if you talk about a guy that could be maybe a luxury pick, but like the kid from Linderbaum, the kid from Iowa, anybody that you can take with high level of talent and stick them in a room with Jeff Stoutland, I'm all for, right? Because those guys are only getting better. Nobody in that position group gets shittier.
Well, yeah, Andre Dillard has been the same level of crap.
Well, okay, so I mean, I want to throw this out there. If you look at some of these guys, I heard what you said. So the guy from Michigan, listen, I don't trust anybody from Michigan. I don't give a shit about the whole state of Michigan, like at all. Like when it comes to football, I know that's not a state for anybody. I understand it's not one, but for me, I just know that I watch too much college football to trust anything coming out of Michigan, except for Charles Woodson. Like, I don't trust very many things. I just know that there's blue bloods for a reason. There's a reason why Nick
Brandon Graham and Tom Brady.
JD, what do you feel about Hutchinson?
Don't care about him. I'm telling you, the best players in this draft, I'm telling you, when they come out and they all get cooking, we were tricked by Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is a Southern boy that's from the North. He just happens to be from the North, but he ain't built like the rest of them dudes. Like, he built different. Like, if you look at how he plays angry. Like,
he's a fucking animal.
He is an animal. He probably is on PEDs. I'm not sure if they checked him or not, but he's probably on PEDs. No disrespect, Micah Parsons. I like you a lot. Just think you're on PEDs. You're way too angry to be that young. I'm just being honest. Life hasn't jaded you yet, and you are really upset.
But again, here we are sitting here talking about defensive players, and we know that that's not what's going to happen. We know that Howie Roseman absolutely nailed the draft this past season.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So look, we don't say a lot of positive things about Howie Roseman. He absolutely nailed this draft, and that's why, like, I saw Palatero, I saw your comment, Howie Roseman needs to go. He's guaranteed himself for at least this season. Like, he did. We all said, you have to do well. And he did. He did well. Now he's got 3 first-round picks, and he's got to be smart. He's got a lot of cap space. He's got a lot of players. Like, pretty much all of New Orleans is out. Like, they're all leaving. So you can pick up any of these players. You got to get playmakers next to Jalen Hurts, because this season Jalen Hurts is going to be your quarterback. But this kind of ties into the one topic I wanted to bring up, which talks about 94.1 WIP and their morning show. This was 3:49 today. Now, we are talking about it as a podcast, right? We are talking about it as a podcast, as a continuing line of, look, this is what we've been saying, this is what we've noticed, right? But out of nowhere, WIP runs this, and tomorrow they're going to have the conversation of WIP picks the quarterback. Let's talk.
Why?
We can go Deshaun Watson. We can go, here's Jalen Hurts and his accomplishments, right? We can go Russell Wilson. Like, they took the time to do this, right?
Look at this. Go back to
Aaron
Deshaun.
Rodgers.
I mean, go back to Jalen Hurts real quick. Okay. Now, Jalen Hurts has 20 games, and you're paying pennies for this guy.
Pennies.
I mean, like, legitimate pennies, like drops in a bucket type pennies. And you can't give him another year. He got you to the playoffs. Like, even if you decide you want to trade your pick just to have a little bit of like insurance policy in case he just doesn't pan out. Bryce Young comes out next year after this year. Like, so.
And that's somebody that I would say, give up whatever you want for him. He's going to be a stud.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it really, I don't know. I'm mixed feelings about Bryce Young too as well.
I want
to see another year of him getting picked apart in the SEC.
I'm not necessarily sold on that train.
But so let's go through this one at a time, right? Jalen Hurts is pennies on the dime. It is, we're not a Super Bowl. We're not a quarterback away, right? We're not a quarterback away. So to this makes sense, right? So, okay, Deshaun Watson. You don't know if he's ever going to play football again. Yes, he's 26. He's $35 million.
He ain't cheap.
$35 million. He ain't cheap for a guy that might not ever play. And Johnny, I'm so glad that you're here for this part of the section, right? Those are pennies are only for one more year. Agreed. So if you can't trade picks to get more next year, you have to draft one now. But again, in my opinion, there is not a quarterback out there that is better. That is better than Jalen Hurts in year 2 under the same coordinator for the first time in his career.
Look around. I mean, look, Kenny Pickett had to fool somebody into a slide to get a first down one time. Like that's the type of caliber of guy that's out there right now. Like,
they had this too.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm not sold on like is there potential for any of those guys to be successful? Absolutely. I think there's too much miss for me and not enough hit. Like I don't think that there's enough there to take any one of those guys at 15, 16, or 19.
Now, but because they're quarterbacks, they're all going to be gone by 15.
I would tell
some
you
quarterback-hungry team is going to take a guy way too high, a la Daniel Jones.
It would not surprise me of the guys that are on the screen right now between Matt Corral, Pickett, and Willis, and you got they got Desmond Ridder on there from Cincinnati. 3 of those guys are going to be first-round picks. Not that they're worth first-round picks, but 3 of there are going to be teams that are going to take flyers on those guys because they're so hungry to be able to have the next, to be Joe Burrow.
And none of these guys are even of the same caliber as Joe Burrow.
Well,
but you look real quick, right?
Where did Malik Willis start? Malik Willis started somewhere else, correct?
He started at Division 1, but he transferred out. And the issue that I have with these smaller school guys is the issue that I had with Carson Wentz and an issue that I got
with Trey Lance.
Francisco. Like, it's just they don't play the level of football. Like, look at Zach Wilson, for example. Played at BYU. The only game I watched him play last year, before he went to the NFL, I watched him play against Coastal Carolina, one of my home teams, and they beat him. And that was like when they were pushing to get BYU into the college football playoff. And this is one of my other things. Like, these guys can't handle it. Desmond Ridder looked very pedestrian in that semifinal. Very pedestrian. Kenny Pickett literally had to fake a slide to get a first down one time. Like, he faked the slide and juked the guy out so they wouldn't hit him. And then Matt Corral just tore his ACL. So we don't even know how he's coming back. So
right. So yeah. So I just looked it up. Look, he played 17 and 18 at Auburn.
Do you remember him?
I think goes from Auburn to Liberty,
right.
to raise his draft stock, but not raise his competitiveness.
The fact that I had to look it up to find out where he played. I don't know,
for me, I'm going, okay, let's talk about overdrafting, right? The Jacksonville Jaguars are first pick. They do not need a quarterback. I mean, they will in about a year when they realize that Trevor Lawrence ain't good.
They stop talking.
Jacksonville, he's terrible.
Dude, so Trevor Lawrence is not terrible. He plays on a terrible team.
He was. I don't think he's ever been that good. I know you're a Clemson guy.
He torched Alabama one time.
If they hire Byron Leftwich, you're going to see.
Well, we're going to talk about coaches in a minute. Believe me.
And absolutely, you're going to see an uptick in performance based on the fact that what he did in the room with Tom Brady, and the way that you heard Brady talk about Byron Leftwich coaching him up, I think if they're smart, right, they put a guy who's going to prioritize the quarterback play in position to lead the team.
Yep.
Right. But then you go, so Detroit needs a quarterback. Kenny Pickett's off the board. Houston at 3 needs a quarterback. There goes Matt Corral going way too high, right?
Hold on. They have a young quarterback. They have a young quarterback.
I was going to say, they got a guy.
They got a young guy. They got Davis, right?
Yeah.
Davis Mills. But you have the number 3 pick. You have the number 3 pick.
You're not going to get either one of those guys. You're going to get either Jordan Davis, because he's a game wrecker, or one of those linebackers we talked about, or even Thibodeau, because Thibodeau's probably going to be there too.
Right.
I was going to say either Thibodeau or Hutchinson, right? Any one of those guys.
But then you got the Jets. They're not taking a quarterback. The Giants, they're not taking a quarterback. The Panthers are taking a quarterback.
Yes.
The Giants, again. The Falcons are not. The Broncos are not, although they should.
No.
The Broncos might. The Broncos might, just to try and figure it out. If the Jets are not. The football team, which is going to be the Commanders, is. So now by 11, I've said 4 teams that all need a quarterback. These 4 guys are gone.
If the Broncos are smart, the Broncos try to sign one of right. Yeah, they're trying to get Rodgers or Wilson or anybody, because they are like your team, JD. They are that one quarterback away from being 100% in the driver's seat.
Listen, bros, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I hear what you're saying, Chip. But somebody down the line is gonna screw up. Like there's a lot of collateral, and I don't know if my Steelers will even draft somebody. I would love to get Matt Corral because I think he's going to drop because of the ACL, and people are going to be afraid to take a chance. And I would love to get him in the second round with my Steelers. But at this point in the game, I'd take Jalen Hurts off your hands with no problem, and I wouldn't think twice about it.
You gotta at least give this guy a chance because there are so many teams that are hungry to take him. But like looking at these guys, Deshaun Watson again, the upside, sure, but he's not going to play in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is a guy.
By the way,
what's that?
Those numbers that Deshaun Watson has are absolutely ridiculous.
Oh no, he's great.
It's crazy.
Russell Wilson. If your team was a quarterback away, then you take him. I could see Russell Wilson going to Tennessee.
Did Russ have a good enough year after the injury to make you think you want to jump for him? No. And that's where I'm at with it. And he's the lower.
And then there's Aaron Rodgers, who at 38 years old has 2 seasons left at most. And if you're not a Super Bowl caliber team in those 2 seasons, you don't make that trade.
Now, I can see him going to Tennessee.
Again, I could see him going to Tennessee. I could see him going to the Broncos. I could see him when Tom Brady does put his retirement paper in, he can go to Tampa Bay.
Or Dolphins. He's not going to follow Tom Brady. You can that.
Yeah.
But again, he's none of these guys are coming to the Philadelphia Eagles.
No.
With the way this team currently stands, none of these guys are coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. Unless something changes. Which leads me to my next. I cannot believe that people are allowed to be on the radio.
Are you about to play something for us?
No. I'm going to share a poll.
Is it from WIP?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Stop it.
Now, I want to point out that I didn't even when I addressed this, I took a screenshot of it because I didn't even want to give them the recognition. This was a poll that was run by the WIP Morning Show today saying, who do you want coaching the Eagles next year? Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, or Nick Sirianni?
Nick Sirianni. Easy.
I'm not even justifying this with a vote. Why are you putting this crap out there?
Chip,
you ever heard of it? Go ahead.
Go ahead. I mean, listen, we have kind of taken the championing the support your small podcast, that whole narrative. Like,
please,
this only further reinforces the fact that this is
garbage.
It's just, not even, Chip, that it is garbage, but not.
It's lazy. It's amateur. It's pathetic.
It puts no effort. There's no effort, right? This is lazy. This is a completely unrealistic narrative. I would have rather you said give me a poll question about fucking draft picks, or what position should they prioritize? Something that tells me that you're going to talk about something relative, right? But if you're talking about, go ahead.
The reason that this is, put that picture back up. I need to show you.
Well, I'm actually going to put up the updated site because clearly they got the memo. because then they did a couple hours, 2 hours later. Who do you want coaching the Eagles, Andy Reid or Kurt Schilling's ferret?
Honestly, I don't want Andy Reid coaching the team anymore. I don't. I mean, I know a lot of people still like Andy Reid.
He's not going to coach any team. You're saying?
No, I'm not. I've never really been big on Andy Reid. Like, I just haven't. Like, he hasn't done enough for me. Like, I take Mike Tomlin all day long, and I'm not saying it because I'm a Steelers fan. I'm saying it because the dude makes he makes water makes wine out of water. Like, the dude just can do stuff. He's never had a losing season. I take Mike Tomlin. But I mean, I guess what you're saying is the low-hanging fruit here is look at those guys that work that's this WIP morning show. They're all dinosaurs. They have no fresh ideas. There's nobody in there that's under probably the age of 40. So there's nobody in there with any fresh ideas. They probably don't even know how to work Twitter. They probably posted that shit in the air.
Passion. Part of the reason why people listen to AAT Sports Network, to D-Drubby Network, to the Drunk on Broad Network, part of the reason why we have gotten to such a following is because when we speak about these things, we speak with a passion, right? Like Adam's saying here, he doesn't listen to WIP anymore ever since he started watching you guys. We real talk and we're facts. We speak with a passion. This is laziness at its worst. And they've gotten away with it for as long as they have. I don't understand how this can get run.
Here's the funniest thing about this, though, is that they put this shit out there, but their primary audience, like, are guys that
are these same guys.
But, Chip, they're guys that, like, my dad, right? Like, my dad is a WIP guy, right? Yep. Like, he's been a WIP guy for his entire life. I remember sitting in the back seat of the car, driving around to sports games and driving down to work with him. And he had Angelo on in the afternoon, and he had fucking Eskin on in the afternoon. Like, those guys, my dad doesn't do fucking social media. So, like, the only people that are chiming in on this shit are the people that are clowning them and saying, look at these fucking clowns and look at the dumb shit that they're putting out there. It's just old.
And to me, it ties all the way back to one of the main reasons why I wanted the Chiefs to lose yesterday, and most of America wanted Chiefs to lose yesterday, had nothing to do with what was happening on the field. It had to deal with...
Oh, God, don't you do it. I know you're going to do it.
It had to deal with the starting quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs' fiance and brother.
Holy fuck.
That's so much to unpack.
It is so much to unpack, but it ties into, ready? Hashtag stop making stupid people famous. That's it.
Fuck. Those two might be the most annoying fucking people on social media.
Period.
Like
Johnny's saying, right, the morning show is older. Marks and Reese have been great. I agree with that. Johnny, I agree. I will listen to Marks and Reese in the afternoon. Joe Giglio, who I often disagree with, at least brings some data and facts to support an argument. Angelo's shtick is done. And even, right, because I know the people that comment in. I know the people who watch our shows, right? Even my middle school students who are watching the show can call it out. They're doing it for the clicks, the views, the comments, and reposting from people so they can expand themselves, right? Earlier, it's either for attention or to trigger fans and see how much shiz they can get out of it. Mikey, I agree.
Listen, I'm going to be real with y'all. Listen, hi to you too, bud. Listen.
Hey.
So straight up, let's just unpack this for a minute. We're in an age where social media can pretty much make you famous off of one viral
Stupid
clip.
People famous. I'm an island boy. Right, stop it.
Listen, but what I'm saying is, though, Chip, is we've lived through it. We've lived through it a couple times. Those who have been on the earth for a while, we watched it with MySpace. And then
don't be hating on Tom now. Don't be hating on Tom now.
Wait, I'm not saying that, but you know, when you first started your MySpace, you get your first friend was normally Tom, and he would be your friend, and then you go to high school or middle school, wherever it was when you started your MySpace, and they started bringing all this new stuff, so you could get music on your page. I remember my page was so slow.
Original coding, y'all.
Remember, I had dial-up, and I remember my page would never work, so I wasn't the cool kid. You know what I'm saying? Because and then I got broadband. I begged my dad to get broadband, so I cut lawns to get broadband. And it started then. And they just been feeding us this stuff for now 20 years of my life. I've been tied to social media, watching social media, and I've been watching people get famous off of doing dumb things. And the people who have a real opinion, like us three, who have a genuine opinion about something, we won't even be seen by the people who really want to see us because there's so much other banter that's in there. So, guys, trust me, we know this out there. We know the people that they make famous. I've worked in these places. I worked in WIP. I've interned at 97.5. So I know what they think. I've been to production meetings, and I know what they're hoping that you're as dumb as you look. For some people, they're hoping that you're dumb enough to click it, to make fun of it. There's no such thing as bad press, and they believe that, and it's paid off. And they're gonna, until these guys die, you're not gonna see any new blood because they're not leaving that job. It's the best job they could ever have. They get to talk sports for their entire life until they legitimately die.
And that is the best job. So why phone it in? Like the day that I'm like, you know what, I can't provide the energy and the passion that I want to do, I'm not going to do it. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And, you know, we look at the people on social media, we look at what is popular, and exactly like you're saying, it is not the people actually with something to say. It also is given a false sense, and this time back into the Mahomes brother and fiance thing, it's given a false sense of everybody deserves a megaphone for everybody to hear your opinion. Everybody doesn't deserve a megaphone. Not everybody's opinion is something that needs to be heard.
Right.
And education and having an intelligent. Yeah, you do see it in podcasting too. And it's a major issue, right? So what do? You have to do something about it. And we just keep, I don't know. I'm over the fact that something has to change with allowing stupid people to becoming famous. You have to. You know, TikTok is a really cool place to go to and get a laugh out of, but it's also a place where people are getting hurt.
But Chip, listen, as long as we all got these things in our pocket, right? That's never going to change, right?
I know.
Everybody wants their 15 seconds. Everybody wants their 1 30-second video to get 3 million views, right? Like that. We live in that society, right? We live in a place where people see value and they get intrinsic motivation from getting likes and retweets. And, you know, like part of me wishes
not even intrinsic. It's sometimes they're getting monetary.
Yeah, well, and
it's instant.
Right. And it's that instantaneous feedback, right? Part of me wish that like on the social media, you got rid of the number. Right.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yes.
Right. Like you got rid of the number next to the heart. You got rid of the number next to the retweet. Right. You just put your stuff out there. And if people want to share it, they share it. If they don't, they don't. Right. But that number is psychological. Right. People feed off that number because they want to know how many views did I get? How many retweets
Don, you and I teach middle school. How many social media issues come up because so-and-so commented on this thing, or I'm in a Snap group, or this, or my photo only got 200 likes and my last one got 250. And, you know, it's a mental problem.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Are you guys ready for this?
It's a bit, yeah. Go ahead.
No, and I think it's going down the way you're going, though, but we see it on Twitter. Like we see these guys who have these fudged numbers. They're fudged because when you are a part of a retweet group or you're a part of any of these groups out here and you have a retweet, let's look at how long people are watching these videos that they're retweeting. How about that? Like if we take a look, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna tell you a personal story, right? Like, so with Jason, who does the Sports and Metal show, right? Jason and I do a Drunk on Ice show, right? It's a hockey show.
Perfect.
Right? The first episode, 4 days later, it's got 2,200 views on Twitter, right? And I'm like, holy fuck! Like what the fuck did we like? Because our Drunk on Broad shows, right, never got like above 100, right? And I got to be honest with myself. I'm looking at that and I'm going, 2,200 people are not watching my fucking show. Right. Like I know that it's getting shared out there and it's scrolling across people's things because I can see all the impressions and all the statistics and stuff. Right. But I got to be honest with myself. And I know 2,200 people are not watching me
Nope.
talk about hockey for an hour and a half.
Exactly.
But like, I know me personally, like I'm a dude who's in his 40s sitting in a third bedroom talking sports. Like, I don't give a shit if
It's the dream.
If 2,200 people watch it, if 2 people watch it, I don't give a shit. Like, it's for me. I don't give a shit. If you want to listen to me talk about sports, great. If you don't, I don't give a shit.
And that's where I really look, JD, I added you on, what was it, 2 months ago at this point? Don, I've done a whole bunch of shows with you, and it's the same conversation. You guys have done enough shows with me where it's like these comments come rolling in, and I know these people. I may not know you in real life, but I know these people. I know where your views are on things. So when I'm having a conversation about quarterback play, and I know where Johnny Higgins is, I know where Johnny Higgins is because he's had the comments coming in. I know where Adam is. I know who he wants to win. I understand Maddie and Ted, and I understand Matt. And we have our inside jokes. And now I know, like, Mikey, like, it's so much different. And it's the idea of quality over quantity.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's where, again, middle school teacher, I see the downside of where it's going. Right?
Of course.
We deal with it all the time. We're constantly putting out fires in our classrooms, Don and I, just trying to get kids to not be, well, so-and-so said this on social media. Social media is not real life.
Right. Well, hold on, wait a minute. Well, so I have this thing. I have the
Matt, I know, brother.
You remember that I started the keyboard warrior prevention thing?
Yep.
So that's because people do things in Twitter and they act like they won't get you beat up in real life. Like it's like when we were growing up, dude, like if I had an issue with somebody, regardless if it be on my bus, in my school, whatever, like we will handle that like, man, we can even cycle that to the adulthood. Like nobody shoots the fair one anymore. Like it's never been, no one shoot the and I'm not promoting violence, but back then a black eye didn't mean you died. You just got your ass whooped. Like now you keep kids like pull up with a gun. Like it's like what happened to the tough guys? Like I was a small kid and I got beat up sometimes, but I also got some bodies too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and it makes you tough. But like in this day,
you're right though. You're right in the sense where like that the way that because a lot of these kids have grown up as, what I would refer to as like digital natives, right? They know nothing other than to interact with their friends primarily on social media, text, Snapchat, DM, whatever. So when they want to handle a beef, what do? They don't
Twitter.
Show up at somebody's door, right? They take a screenshot, they post it on Snapchat, they say, yo, I'm gonna get this fool tomorrow, right? And then it spills over, and where Chip and I see a lot of it is like it spills over into school where like they know that school is a safe place, right? So they know that when they come to school, that it's the adults.
Someone will step in and protect me before it gets too severe.
Correct.
Exactly.
And at that point, it's my role as an adult to educate them to say, hey, listen, that's if your beef is with him, right, then this is not the way to handle it, right? So it's my job as an adult to step in and say, yo, we got to do things differently. Like you can't be putting stuff in, like you. So at that point, like we got to educate them and say, listen, I'm not telling you to say, meet the dude at the bike rack at 3:00 and handle your business physically, but like I'm also telling you, like, taking screenshots of personal text messages between you and your boy and posting them on social media. That ain't the way to handle it either.
Nah, man. And you guys are right. Listen, I don't envy you guys at all. Like any educator, my brother teaches in middle school too as well. So he tells me the stories. We have a segment on U3 where we talk about the middle school drama of it all. And it's some of the funniest stuff, but in the moment when my brother can actually have a teaching moment with one of these kids and be like, listen, when I was young, I remember one time specifically, he was getting bullied by this kid. and I'm his older brother, and I show up. Not really. Actually, my brother was bigger than me for the majority of his life. Like, he's 6'5" now, and I'm like 6'2". And he legitimately, for his whole life, he's been bigger than me. But in that moment, he had to learn how to resolve his conflicts. And I told him, listen, you may catch the fade. You may get beat up on this bus, but you have to stand up for yourself. And we watch people time after time get cyberbullied, get put in these positions, and it's just a keyboard. If you can't handle the power that comes with the keyboard, then parents need to take the keyboard away, because it's really only stepping away from it. It all starts at home, Julie. That's
Julie's
perfect.
exactly right.
That's it. When I was young, if we had an issue, my dad gave us the boxing gloves and we went outside and handled it. And there's a lot different. It's just like the helmet conversation. You see guys hitting with their helmet. Take that helmet off and run at somebody head first and watch what happens to you.
Who's punching a helmet? Like, come on now.
Nobody.
Yo,
Nobody.
Side note, that's the stupidest fucking thing.
That's so dumb.
Is when those, like, especially in hockey or football, when they're punching a dude's helmet, I'm like, you're a fucking
Like,
idiot.
didn't anybody learn anything from Mighty Ducks 2? Sticks,
Oh my God. Yeah.
gloves, shirt.
God, that is hilarious. Can we get that on
Look,
a t-shirt, please?
Stick. All right, so look, believe it or not, this is still a sports show, and we went,
Sorry, guys.
whoo, but you know what? That's
Sorry, guys.
okay. But Adam would like us to get back on track, and he says,
Yes,
do you think the
please.
Super Bowl is going to be great this year? And I'm actually going to pivot back all the way to a comment that JD put in the secret cyber chat that y'all don't see. Has this been the greatest playoffs ever?
Yeah. I mean, I listen, I don't remember as many compelling games as there has been. JD, all four, every game last week was fucking awesome.
It came down to a kicker doing his job.
Every game last week came down to the final. The game was decided on the final play.
Yeah.
Every game was fucking
That's never
awesome.
happened. That's never happened.
Both of these games are within three. Both of these games this weekend are within 3 points of each other. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the fucking Super Bowl is an insanely awesome game.
I think the Super Bowl is going to be a great game, but what I was going to say about it being the greatest playoffs of all time, I agree, with the exception of the 7 seeds not belonging there. And again, as an Eagles fan and as a Steelers fan, JD, our two teams were not in the same caliber of the rest of the teams in there.
It had
So by
nothing
adding,
to
we
do
did
with
this-
that part.
We did this last week, I know, but adding that 7th team has slightly tainted the playoffs to me.
It hasn't, because guess what you got? You got guys that played games at the end of the season that mattered. We got madness the last week, but we didn't know if a team was going to decide to tie. It was like watching, remember I brought this up before?
That was
like
a great game.
The moment in like the Dark Knight where the guy gives both sides the bomb to blow the other side up, and they couldn't read each other's minds, so they didn't know who was going to get blown up, and they both decided that they were not going to blow each other up. As a Steelers fan, that was me. That was my mindset. Are these guys just going to decide to tie and screw my team out of it, or am I going to watch my team who doesn't deserve to be in it get in it?
But you said it. Doesn't deserve to be in it, right? And Johnny says here, right? I hated the playoff expansion. It waters down. And Johnny is a diehard Eagles fan. He is a former Marine. Like, my dude is tough.
He is.
So it ties into me, the conversation that we were just having, right? The idea of the keyboard warriors, the idea of the participation trophy. Why does everybody get in? It should be the top 6 teams, and hell, maybe even just the top 4.
Listen,
I don't
that you
understand.
said
And JD,
I love that you said
gonna-
it. Please say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say that last
top
statement you
4
said.
from each conference. And JD, hold up.
No.
I need a tiebreaker this time, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Don,
Tell it-
you
say-
are officially
hold on,
the
wait.
judge.
You
Hold on.
have to say it like a general statement. You don't get to allude to one side or the other, okay? Make sure
Okay.
you do that.
I'm gonna make him the judge, though.
All right.
So it's official.
You're official now.
JD and I have a difference of opinion about a certain topic. Okay.
Okay.
the NFL playoffs have expanded to 7 teams, right?
Yep.
And we saw that the 7th team going in so far over the last 2 seasons hasn't really deserved to be here. We are also having a conversation about the idea of the college football playoff expansion.
Okay.
Should college football expand their playoffs as well to allow teams like a Notre Dame or teams that have undefeated records in as well? Or is that already too watered down?
Honestly,
I can't stump the judge. That's not fair.
No, I feel like the college football playoff, the last couple years, those semifinal games have been trash. They've been garbage.
Right?
Those semifinal games have been absolute garbage. Like Notre Dame, in the times that they've been
Trash city.
Trash, right? Like Michigan this year, trash. Like the teams that have played in those games, like at this point, you might as well go back to when they, like way back in the 80s and 90s when they just said, fuck it, you're the top team, you're the second team, you fuckers play. Like,
okay, now,
to me, I originally I thought like, okay, like you expand it and say, you get, hypothetically, you get one team from every Power 5 and you get the next 3 best teams, right? So you got an 18 playoff. But then I'm looking at it and then I look and say, like, all right, like the top 2 teams are normally head and shoulders above the rest. 3 and 4 are normally garbage.
JD, I'm gonna need you to stop nodding and victory sipping, okay?
That was I'm running out of my crown, so
here's my thing though, right? And here's where I struggle. We know that, and Ted's saying here, right? College has a different dynamic. There's too many conferences to try and include other inferior conferences. But if we go back to that 1980s style of things, Georgia and Alabama don't play in the national championship.
But Chip, though, at the same time, like Cincinnati, as great of a season as they had, Cincinnati did not belong on the field with Georgia or Alabama.
But they were undefeated. They deserved a chance.
Stop that shit,
great.
Chip. Stop that.
Great. Listen, did they have a great season? Yes. But again, just because they had a great season, just because they were undefeated, doesn't mean they belong on the field with Georgia and Alabama. They just
do Division II teams, the Division II championship teams, do they play against the Division I championship team to duke it out to see who's the best team?
No.
You know why?
The Division II has a legitimate bracket.
Right. But what I'm telling you is those guys are still a lower caliber than the guys they would play in Division I. I wouldn't, and I know people get mad when you say this, but I would sometimes just want to see what would happen if you lined them up in week 2 and said, we're going to take the 2 best teams. We know by week 2 or 3 who's the 2 best teams. I knew after week 1 when Georgia beat my Clemson Tigers that they were the best team in the nation. I knew they were. It was without thought process. I didn't even have to think about it. And then I also knew that Alabama was going to rebound from getting beat because it's going to happen. They always do it. But Nick Saban is a master of most things when it comes to these guys. So he's always going to be there. In the NFL, it's not like that. There's not going to be the same team there every year. So, am I saying the 6 and 7 team don't deserve to be there? Maybe not. But there's a refresher game that I think that it does help because if you look at that, the 7th seed, who did they play against this year?
In pros?
In AFC, we played the who?
You played the number 2 seed. So you played the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. The Chiefs made it all the way to the AFC.
We played the Bucks.
But Jeff, listen, at the very baseline, right? We know that adding that additional playoff game, we know what that's all about, right? That's all about revenue.
The almighty dollar.
Right. That's all about adding that extra weekend. Don't be surprised in the next couple of years if they add a second bye and they add an 18th game.
You mean they add back the second bye? Because they took it away from the number 2 seed. It used to be 1 and 2 got the bye, 3 went against 6, 4 went against 5.
I'm not talking about the second. I'm not talking about the second bye like in the playoffs. I'm talking about like during the season. There are going to be.
God. I can't handle one bye week.
There are going to be 2 bye weeks. It's going to be 18 games, and guess what? But here's the benefit, right? And then they're going to end up playing the Super Bowl on President's Day weekend when
So
you
get
have
a 3-day
Monday
weekend.
off, and you get your 3-day weekend, right? So like they are looking for any way to extend the season, to elongate, to say how close can we get the Super Bowl to the combine, right? So that it all just literally just runs into one thing.
Huge season.
Yep.
I mean, and even this, like
one huge season with like 6 weeks off.
I don't have an objection
with
with
this. 6 weeks you have to come. Like
I don't have an objection with the 6th seed being there. I mean, look, the 49ers were a 6th seed. They beat the Green Bay Packers. They did their damn job.
Right. But think about
I have an objection to teams like the Eagles and the Steelers.
Don't say my
got in. The Eagles got in safer than the Steelers did because the NFC is the weaker conference.
Chip, but you could make the same argument. Like we got in a couple weeks we're gonna have March Madness coming up, right?
Let's go.
You could make the same argument for a bunch of those teams that are like those bubble fucking teams that are they're 20-19 and they're gonna end up playing the 12 versus 12 game in fucking Dayton, Ohio to play the number 5 seed. Like honestly, I would love if you pared down they'll never do it because it's a giant fucking moneymaker. But like you could pare down the NCAA team to like 32 games. Like
I hear everything you're saying. But I want to point out, and I saw a comedian talk about this. Your phrasing of that just totally threw me off, right? Because normally you use the adjective in front of the noun, right? So in your situation, it would have been fucking bubble teams.
Bubble fucking teams.
But you said bubble fucking, and I was lost for the next 5 minutes.
This is a great show. God, I love this place. Can I live here? Like, is it possible?
You can, absolutely. Yes, you can live in this little box right here.
Yeah, you can.
Can I live here?
Oh my, bubble fucking.
Listen, and then on top of it, I think what Chip was wanting is, I know Chip is being very positive right now, and I know what he's saying. You're trying to be very positive, and it's a great sentiment to think that we would get this all the time. But to go back to what we're saying, this has been the best playoffs that I've ever been alive.
Agreed. It's been so good.
And even to the point where I'm expecting Joe Burrow to give us a show on not this Sunday, but the next Sunday. I expect it to be a show on the field. I expect to get some nostalgia in the halftime show and get lit and just be trying to rap like Eminem, like I'm that white kid from Michigan. Like I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be doing all that and then get a great game.
Can we talk about that for half a second? That halftime show is gonna be fucking awesome.
You're gonna just see the players set up bleachers. Like we're not coming into that. We're not coming into the locker room, coach.
Yeah,
everything you said, we already know.
Yeah,
I would just like to be here and watch.
Throw the ball,
Snoop.
catch the ball. We're good. Yeah,
throw the ball, catch the ball, tackle the guy. Got it.
Well, and I saw.
No, Matt. No one's watching the Pro Bowl. No one ever watches the Pro Bowl.
No, fuck that. That's the stupidest fucking game ever. Right? If you had I saw a meme today that was like Eminem performing at halftime, Matt Stafford playing for the Rams. It's the closest the Lions are ever going to get to being in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
I saw that too.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. So when you saw the trailer, of course, like I'm watching the trailer, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. I straight fangirl. We watched it live on the U3 show. When I tell you that I got literal chills down my legs, ankle area, down to my toes. When I heard them play the Dre song, when they had with the keys, bro. I wasn't even allowed to listen to Dr. Dre growing up because they were like talking about beating cops' asses and shit. So I wasn't able to listen. So I still feel like I'm living on the edge when I listen to him. Like still, I might do something dangerous, like not wear underwear or something watching the game or something. Like I want to feel dangerous. Like I already had my nip showing earlier. It is what it is.
Well, since we're going right to shenanigans land, we're gonna do a final segment. And by the way, I just want to stop. Like the comments that have been coming in tonight, like I can't even appreciate. Like we appreciate you all so much for doing this. Teachable moment, Mikey. The Pro Bowl is when the NFL's best players who didn't make the Super Bowl play against each other. It's an all-star game, but they don't actually ever play hard.
It's an all-star game that is a glorified flag football game.
And I miss it being in Hawaii as well. Johnny, no, Kendrick Lamar does not need to be there. He is definitely like the one of these things is not like the other. No. It's Kendrick Lamar.
No.
With that group.
No. You have to realize something about Kendrick. Kendrick is the reach to this generation. Because if you have only the old cats, the young cats ain't going to understand. You need Kendrick to bridge the gap. He's a West Coast guy. He's a Cali guy. He's a young guy. He can still flow. Get him in there. Put him in, coach.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
With it being in LA, Kendrick Lamar makes a ton of sense.
I hear what you're saying, but if you remember a couple years ago, Bruno Mars was the halftime show, right? And I'd seen Bruno Mars in concert twice. I knew what the man could bring. Dude is legitimately incredible. But they still had to bring in the Red Hot Chili Peppers because it was the white thing to do, right? He didn't need the Red Hot Chili Peppers did not need to be there, and they ended up stealing the show because Flea's bass wasn't plugged in, and he was just mocking, ding, 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 right? To me, it's the Kendrick Lamar piece in this show because Don and JD, you mentioned the fact like you're throwing it back to you're throwing it to the young kids. The young kids know Dr. Dre. They know Snoop. They know these guys.
But you don't know Ice
Eminem.
Cube, though. You know Ice Cube is a production person.
Yeah, they know. Here's what they know about.
Need
they know about
Kendrick Lamar.
You do.
Hold on. They do because they don't know Dr. Dre, right? They know Dre that reps the beats, right? They know beats Dre, but they don't know Dr. Dre. They don't know the Chronic. They don't know Dre with the
So they're gonna learn. They don't know Dre pulling up
with the Cadillac
on
three wheels rolling up in Long Beach with Snoop rapping on the beach volleyball court. Like they don't know any of that. So
but they had Paul McCartney, that was terrible. The Rolling Stones, that was terrible. They added the Chili Peppers for no reason. Yeah, Bruno's show was the best since Janet's the breasticle spectacle, right?
Listen, listen, Chip, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying that you're wrong.
This isn't even the shenanigan portion.
I know, but what I'm saying with this whole thing about them being who they are, I remember being young and Tupac and Biggie. I remember those guys, and I remember Ruthless, and I remember these things. But I have a 14-year-old, 15-year-old nephew that I now have to explain why Dre is making music because they thought he only made headphones.
But you have to, if you're the NFL, remember who your target audience is, who is buying your stuff. The people who are buying the stuff isn't your 14-year-old person.
No, but they're tweeting it and they're retweeting it and they're saying Kendrick just killed the beat.
Chip, here's the thing. It's going to hit two different places, right? It's going to hit the 40-year-old crew that's going to remember Eminem and it's going to remember all those dudes in their prime, right? But they need that generation that is directly below them that is going to share and retweet and TikTok and put all that shit out there on fucking social media.
Please put up Jelly Khan's last comment.
They need to put both of those things out there.
What, the
Speaking
Lil Nas X?
Yeah, put it up. All right, guys, I got to go in a minute. Can you make me big real quick? Because
I got you. Hold on. You want to have the floor?
I need 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Go. Put me on the clock. All right. So first of all, absolutely hate Lil Nas X. I mean, and I'm going to tell you why. It's not because he's gay. I promise. I got gay cousins. I love gay people. I love them. They're actually the funniest people on earth. It's a known fact. If you don't know, go talk to a gay person. They're funny. My problem with Lil Nas X is that it's less about his actual talent and more about that he's gay. Like he mentions it in every song. He reminds you every time that he's gay. Do you remember Elton John doing that at all? Like reminding you every time he got on stage that he was gay? Like I don't remember that.
But no.
Don't remember him ever. I mean, outside of me knowing he had a husband, I didn't really know he was gay. Nor did I care because he was a beautiful musician. He had the voice of an angel. Lil Nas X, I see him doing stripper dances and sliding down a pole and making blood demon shoes. So I'm not really sure what his point of this generation is and why they keep supporting him. But somebody needs to cancel this guy immediately. And it's not because he's gay, but that seems to be all he's good at right now is being gay.
All right.
I feel better now. I needed to say that. I feel better now. And I could probably get canceled, but I don't care.
Look, Lil Nas X to me is famous for Old Town Road.
Right.
Which,
to me,
having performed that song on stage a whole bunch of times, is not a very difficult song to perform. And if it's a rap song, if that's your genre, you really do need to have some talent to back it up. So yes, as a political person of it all, and Mikey, I know what you're saying, right? Going against the Christian standards and doing it as the political side of it all, that's fine. But as a rapper, it's not good.
No.
And that's JD's point.
No, to me, it was a one-hit wonder. It was 15 minutes.
His 15 minutes lasted way too long.
Yeah.
Because I know his songs, and I'm like, okay, like, he's not better than Eminem. Like, I'm just like, I'm putting him up against the greats, and they keep, because everybody wants to tell me, like, all my young relatives want to tell me he's great, and I'm like, where? Like, what makes him great? Like, but Madonna also pressed the limits. Like,
but I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to say this, though.
The three of us could come up with 50 guys that I would put up in front of him.
But please understand, right?
Like right now.
But Mikey, right, who has this comment, just turned 13 years old. Right now, we sound like the three old dudes on our front lawn going, well, when I was your age, you know who was really good? The Sugar Hill Gang, and no one has ever beaten them. I said a hip-hop, hippity-hippity. Right?
Man, I love that voice.
We sound like those guys right now.
Hip-hop. Yeah, don't stop.
To the bang, bang, boogie, to the rhythm of the boogie.
Well, thank you.
Stop it. Stop it, you nasty man, you.
But like Julie said, everyone has an opinion. And what I really like about our show and our network and our networks and what we do is we at least value the opinion. Like we listen to WIP, we listen to 97.5. Those things, they'll just go, bloop, you're off. Like we're bringing these comments up. We're having these conversations. Like it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. Shenanigans, because we got to wrap this up. It's coming up on an hour and a half, right?
Okay.
I like to find a little something every now and then. Last week it was candy bars, and we discovered that if JD has peanut butter, he dies. So
we'll die.
Fun fact.
We'll die.
You and I can't hang out because I love anything peanut butter.
Long as you don't shove it in my mouth, I'm fine. Like, just don't like take your finger. Like, hey, bro, what's that over there? What? Pop something in my mouth. Like, you can't do that to me. I die. Like,
oh god, that's what she said.
We're getting canceled.
Wait, since we're talking about peanut butter and shoving things in people's mouths, can we just have a conversation about how Eminem has to rebrand because the one Eminem was too sexual?
Oh, stop it. Get the fuck out of here.
They went, hold up. This Eminem, right? This Eminem with her white boots and her glasses and her chocolatey green goodness. She too fine. Let's put her in sneakers.
Next.
They are rebranding M&M's because an animated chocolate candy is too sexual.
Next. I got nothing.
You get up in the morning and the only thing you have to eat is cereal.
Damn.
Pick two. And all the others get thrown away for eternity. These are old school cereals.
Damn you. Why are you doing this?
It's because I control the computer.
Next, I got to get some access. All right, I got to get my access back.
Yo, wait, hold up. I'm going to take this down for a second. Wait,
on.
I'm taking this down for a second. Hold up. Johnny, Don't even get him started on Lola Bunny's change.
I mean, I was kind of messed up because Lola Bunny had a crush on Lola Bunny low key back in the day. No lie.
Maddie, is she supposed to be wearing slippers and a muumuu? All right.
This is why we're gonna get canceled.
Chip, the one that I was thinking of isn't even up there.
No, it should be.
It.
What's the one? Again, some of these are retro cereals. So what were you thinking of?
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, like that's easily my favorite cereal. Or
all right, so if we're gonna, I guess you can have Circus Fun as a replacement.
and a game changer. My mom used to make Rice Krispie treats out of the Fruity Pebbles.
Yes, that's a true fact.
Game changer right there.
So you don't want Sir Grape Fellow.
I mean, if I gotta pick two out of this crew,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, you got Lucky Charms on there twice.
Exactly. Old one and the new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Middle, right. Second row, middle, and then third row first.
Oh, snap. I didn't even see. Listen, I did not make these graphics. This is brought to us by Danny Derabian.
Gotcha.
Danny has dyslexia.
I don't know.
He's put these things on here twice.
He didn't even put Frosted. I don't see Frosted Flakes on here.
I'm going completely off the list. I'm going.
I'll see Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Do it.
Fruity Pebbles, and I'm going Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
Damn. Everything else can go away.
Those are epic.
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
JD, take it too.
Oh man, you want me to go first? I'm gonna go. Fruit Loops was one of my favorite. Fruit Loops and I gotta go hard. I gotta go hard to go home. Gotta go hard to go home. Gotta go hard to go home. And I'm gonna take. Oh, they do got them on their Pops. I mess with Pops.
Yo, Pops is truth. I got to agree with Don and Johnny here. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the goat.
It is the goat. It is the goat.
Like they used to sell that 2-pack from Costco.
That did. Listen, when that came home from the supermarket,
it was gone.
That thing didn't last an hour.
You know what it was? You know what it was for me? It was not only the fact that it was originally delicious, like the first time you had it, right? But then you had the milk residue, which was just some straight cinnamon sugary goodness.
Yes.
So for me, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the GOAT. And then I'm going to gross all y'all out because mine is not on here.
Frosted Flakes.
I love Frosted Flakes as well. No, again, the double box pack. Yo, give me Raisin Bran any day.
Stop it.
I loved. So you're talking to a kid with ADHD who wasn't allowed to have excess amounts of sugar?
Oh, true. Facts.
Raisin Bran was the truth.
I mean, I mean, for a healthy lifestyle, I'll take it. It's like Raisin Bran.
Oh,
that like when I was transitioning out of like super fat self to like not as fat self, like Raisin Bran was in the mix.
No, JD, you laugh, but you have never lived until you've seen Fat Don.
Dude, Fat Don, was he a cool guy? Was he a cool guy?
Yo, Fat Don was Don Corleone. He was Don Porkleone.
Yo, Fat Don was a ton of fun, but Fat Don was fat.
Dude, I gotta see this guy. I gotta see Fat Don.
He's pulling it up, and then I'll maximize the screen.
Dude,
Fat Don is hysterical.
I wonder if it's like Fat Drippy, because this guy, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like,
I don't know. Are we all pulling up our fat pictures? Because I'll pull up my 212er.
You're looking at my fat picture. This is him. This is his fat picture. This is it. Guys, look around.
That's drip dropped.
This is drip. This is a drip, extra large drip.
All right. I'm gonna maximize myself first.
Gosh.
Right. So this is Fat Me literally exploding out of a shirt at 212 pounds.
Dude, I wish.
Look at that gut. That's my motivational picture. Every time I'm like, I don't want to work out, I look at that and go, "Whoo, that was a happy fatty." Look at that. I'm exploding out of. Hold on.
I wish I was 212 pounds.
Look at those buttons there, hanging on for dear life.
Hold on. You remember this one, Chip?
Hold up. Oh, I do remember that. So
you look skinny though.
Well, many moons ago. Again, Don and I teach at the same school, and there was this, I want to call it a boy band from somewhere in the United States. It was an
internet boy band.
It was an internet boy band. They came and they did their little show and they threw out their things. So for the talent show that year, there's Fat Don.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that can't be you.
Yeah, JD. That was me, circa 240 pounds and blonde hair.
When? What year?
That was 1999, sir.
Oh, damn. That's been over 2 decades ago. Like, I need something recent.
No, he hasn't been like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I got rid of that last.
Is that My Chemical Romance? I don't know who you're talking to, but my God.
Oh, man, he got you.
Yeah, so there's this internet band, and they come to our school, and they throw stuff out. And as in the talent show that year.
Romeo.
Oh, God, it was before Juliet. The name of the group was Before Juliet, and they had this terrible song called Love on Lock. So the talent show that year, I got a bunch of us old, overweight teachers to lip sync it and overact it out, and we called ourselves After Juliet.
Oh my God!
Damn you!
So funny.
I'll share that link out because that's on my own YouTube. It's hysterical.
But look, on your MySpace.
I couldn't get the coding right. All right.
Holy fuck.
Don, 30 seconds. What you got popping on the Drunk on Broad Network this week?
Listen, Rich and I will probably be on either tomorrow night or Wednesday night, and then Jason and I are actually going to be on Friday night doing our hockey show. We got some guys coming on from the Fly Guys podcast to talk, all things how sucky the Flyers are.
They're so bad.
So sucky, and it's painfully horrible to have now started a hockey-only podcast when the hockey team absolutely sucks. But we spend our 5 minutes on them and 55 minutes on everybody else. And listen, we've been trying to put out just good, original, solid sports content. We try to do it in like a car ride. So we're trying to keep our episodes to like 30, 35 minutes. We've been
not this shit show.
Not this hour and a half shenaniganery.
We've been trying to, I like to put together the little highlight packages. So, so we're doing the 2 minute highlight packages of the games from the night before. Just trying to put out good original content. And, if you like it, great. If you don't, scroll on to the next one.
On to the next. JD, what's happening this week on D-Drippy Network?
So for those of you guys, obvious outsiders for this week, it's going to be a big one because we got your guy, Miles. Miles is going to be on Burning Miles.
Miles who?
Miles Bridges? Burning
like
Bridges?
The basketball player?
Burning Bridges.
Oh, Jeremy Bridges.
Bridges. But I'll call him Miles Bridges.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. All right, listen, whatever. So we got him coming on, obvious outsiders later on the week. So we're going to talk a little bit about NFL, like how things have changed, what we're looking forward to in the Super Bowl. We also, man, got a big show, U3 tomorrow, man. I'm probably finally going to eat this damn ghost pepper. So I put my foot in my mouth. I bet on the Eagles, and now I got to pay the piper. So D-Drippy Net tomorrow, 9 o'clock. I may die. So I want to let you guys both know I care about you both. Like, it could go either way. It could go either way, guys. I could literally kick the bucket. That's it.
On Burning Bridges tomorrow night, we got Todd Pinkston. The Todd Pinkston. Coming on. So we're going to be doing that. Then we're opening the vault on Thursday night with Brandon. Not Brandon. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Why am I blanking on his name? We did this. Hold on. Oh my God, it's too late for this.
What's his name?
Why am I blanking?
What's his last name?
Hold on. It'll come to me. Barrett Brooks, not Brandon Brooks. I'm stuck on Brandon Brooks.
Oh,
Barrett Brooks is coming on Thursday night. We're opening the vault, and then we're just gonna keep doing what we do. We don't have to do a weekly pickoff show because I got my ass kicked all playoffs by the wife. She picked a lot better than me. She was 2-0 this week. I was 1-1. I was 1-3 the week before. She was 3-1. I mean, I just got my ass kicked all playoffs by her. So
she wins.
She wins the playoffs. I win the regular season. Right. But you know what it means. I mean, it's the playoffs matter. So, all right. I feel like after judging by tonight, we may have to have like some serious like chips and drip shows because like that's we got into some stuff this week. But we'll have that conversation. We'll let you guys know what's coming up. Quick sponsors, Statement Games, check them out. Symbol.com, check them out. Lottery and Luxury Watches, check them out. Triple Threat Wagers, check them out. Funkbrewing.com, check them out. The AATSportsNetwork.com, check them out. Manscaped.com, your balls will thank you. Use the AAT Birds code, 20% off and free shipping at checkout. I'm Chip. That's Drip. That's Don. Thank you all for listening in, tuning in the entire time. The comments were exceptional. I really appreciate you guys. You have no idea. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing, retweeting, do all those things. We appreciate you.
Find me on Twitter.
Support your local podcast.
Support your local podcast because WIP sucks. Mikey, sign off because here's a commercial about your testicles. Bye, friends.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let a wild pube wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you with the best tools to get your balls ready for this special occasion. This V-Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code AATBirds for 20% off and free shipping. The holidays went by so quickly. Did you remember to take care of your package with the best tools for the job? The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is just the thing every guy needs in their life to make each and every day just a little more special. The number one product in this package is the Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin. And get this, the trimmer's advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate balls. It even has a 4000K LED spotlight so you can shave anywhere your heart desires. Did I mention that it's waterproof too? I'd like to propose making February 13th a national holiday as National Shave Your Balls Day. Who's with me? I think this is one holiday that men and women can get behind. This package also includes the Weed Whacker, nose and ear hair trimmer to whack all the worst of your weeds. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts, their Shed Travel Bag and Anti-Chafing Boxer Brief to keep your boys stored comfortably. To complete the perfect package for your package are liquid formulations like the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. Start your day off with a deodorant for your boys, and then stay cool all day with toner to keep you feeling your best all day and night. These formulations will also have your balls smelling like a king on the big day. And don't forget to smell good not only around your balls but all over. Made with their signature scent, the Manscaped Refined Cologne will complement your collection with smell perfection. Manscaped created their products for a night just like this and will make your V-Day date say, wow, great set of balls you have there. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code AATBirds. Join Cupid and shoot your arrow with Manscaped this Valentine's Day. Your balls and lady will thank you.